So you've grown your business to a size that needs some square footage and maybe even some frontage. How do you sort through all of the possible locations to choose from? And here are a few tips on how to choose that new storefront. Question 1. What type of commercial lease is being offered? Knowing what type of commercial lease is being offered is one of the most important items to consider when looking at properties for your new office space. Is the lease triple net, modified gross, or any other of the many types? The type of lease determines how your rent bill will be calculated. Next, what is the minimum lease term? A lease term length can be a decisive factor in your property search. Typically, commercial properties offer lease contracts with a minimum term length of at least a year. Many contracts require a 3 to 5 year commitment. Longer terms can be restrictive, while shorter terms allow more flexibility if you don't want to be tied down to a property for a certain amount of time. However, long-term contracts give you more negotiating leverage and security with predictable rental costs. Third, what amenities are included? This is one of the most essential questions to ask when leasing office space. Understand what building services are included in your monthly rent, such as repairs and maintenance, cleaning assistance, electricity, and heating and air conditioning. These additional costs can have a huge impact on your decision, especially if you're on a strict budget. Next, you want to ask what insurance coverage is required. Oftentimes, commercial landlords require a certain level of insurance coverage. Be sure to ask what type and amount of insurance coverage is required by the lease, as it may add a costly fixed expense. You want to be visited by customers, so how much parking is allotted to the renter? If you have multiple employees, you'll want to make sure that you have enough parking for everyone. It's best to find out the parking situation when you're viewing a corporate rental space to understand how that'll affect your team. Make sure to ask, is there room for expansion? If you plan to expand your team or services in the future at the same location, be sure to ask what available space is offered in or near the building. Sixth, can you make the changes to the office space layout? Before signing a lease on a commercial building that you plan to rearrange, it's best to ask whether or not that's acceptable. Some building owners may require that you leave the building layout the way it is or optimize the space within their guidelines. After all that, what about exclusivity? Will the landlord protect your type of business? Do you need to worry that a business just like yours will open in the same plaza as yours? Best to delineate what is and is not acceptable before signing, so you don't end up competing with yourself in your own backyard. So look forward to growing your business the right way. Make sure that you're armed with the right information and that you're not afraid to make your landlord work for you. This has been Howard Freedland with the Echo Commercial Tip of the Week.